Welcome to CSN, the Network Podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my lovely co-hosts, Dree Nazario and Malik Hampton. How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing great, man. How are you guys?
Doing good. Y'all know me. Hashtag blessed and highly favored. Hashtag great day to pod. All that chilling, maxing, relaxing. How you doing, brother?
Likewise, man. Better now that I'm talking to you two. We had a great weekend in sports, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy, Alabama came out on top. I'm happy my Niners came out on top. I'm happy the Lakers won on Sunday. We play again tonight. So, I'm just happy everything is starting to, get down to the postseason in reference to football, college specifically and high school. So it's getting down to crunch time, man. This is where your name is made. So I'm looking forward to catching some of these games. With that being said, let's hop straight into it, man. West Virginia high school, AAA football, something we've been covering all season. A couple of the picks that we chose a couple weeks ago in the last recap episode have made it to the state championship, which will take place this Saturday, December 4th at noon, which is my fraternity's Founders Day. So shout out to the good bros, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we got Huntington versus Martinsburg High School. Huntington High School versus Martinsburg High School. So I'm looking forward to that, man. What y'all thinking, man? Who y'all got?
I'm going with Huntington just because they, close to the crib.
Yeah, southern part of the state, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going with Hunt for sure.
I'm rocking with Hunt too.
Got enough rings, man.
Who got the closest though? Who gets Huntington Martinsburg between y'all two?
I said Huntington.
He said Huntington. I gave you Huntington and Martinsburg, and then I gave you Huntington Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Bridgeport, yeah.
Bridgeport had a great season, man. Shout out to them. They just, ran into a formidable foe in Martinsburg. So
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good game, but I'm pulling for Hunt. Like you said, just.
Yeah, one thing I do want to mention, y'all, since 2010, Dree, we graduated in 2011. Martinsburg High School has won 8 state titles.
Golly.
Yeah, they've been running.
They won 8 out of 11.
Yup.
Wow.
Because I want to say, because we had to, not to go down memory lane, just real quick, we had to forfeit my senior year, so we couldn't play in the state championship. So they won it that year, which was 2011. I want to say they won it like 3 years straight after that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 11 to 2014. I know Cap had their run. And then I feel like Martinsburg was right back on it. So
yeah.
Dominate.
Yeah, that's crazy. I might need to check, see what they doing up there. Like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, Malik and I, we went to college with a couple people that went to Martinsburg High School. It's just different up there, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just different. Yeah. You hear stories like, oh, they recruit, you know what I mean? I never heard those sentiments, you know what I mean? Like the dudes we met in college, like, nah, they was official. Like they actually played, like they was from the Martinsburg area. Like there's a lot of Black people up there in that area. So
yeah, I mean, they by the city though. Like they by DC and stuff, right? It's not too far from there. So, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. It definitely makes sense.
Yeah, man, them boys is nice. But, not to shortchange anyone, there are other games, although we may not have covered it too much in reference to AA and single A, just to inform our listeners, the AAA state championship for West Virginia will take place Saturday, December 4th at noon. It will be Martinsburg High School versus Huntington High School. And then for the AA championship, it will be Fairmont Senior versus Independence, which will take place Friday at 7 p.m. And then for single A, it will be Williamstown High School versus Ritchie County High School, which will take place Saturday, December 4th at 7 p.m. So
I ain't never heard of 4 of those schools in my life.
Neither have I, bro.
I feel like Fairmont Senior has been pretty dominant in AA. I feel like now I could be Fairmont Senior.
I can't confirm or deny because I always get it confused with Fairmont East. We also went
Okay.
to college with people that
Fairmont
went to
Senior used to
Fairmont
be
Senior.
AAA, didn't it?
I feel like maybe that's why I recognize the name.
Say what?
Yeah. I was saying maybe that's why I don't recognize the name because they may have been AAA before, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
it's one of them.
Ritchie County. And what was the other one? Independence. Where's
Never.
Independence at,
I have
man?
no idea.
Shout out to them guys. I'm going with Independence.
Well, I mean, in your defense, they were ranked second in the state in AA. So it's looking like they probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see, though.
He looked like a stud right there.
And then G County, Williamstown.
He don't.
Williamstown, that's somewhere close to Virginia. I know it is. It's somewhere on that island.
That's Ritchie County.
And to answer
I don't know.
what you just said, Malik, Independence is in Sophia, West Virginia, which is also another place I've never heard of before. So
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it before. Where is it? What county is it in?
I'm not sure. I looked it up though. It's super close to Beckley.
It's probably one of them exits you ain't really supposed to get off of.
Leaving
Because it says like Coal City. I don't know if y'all have signs for those, but yeah, let me not say super close, but it's probably like 45 minutes to an hour from Beckley. Yeah, it's in a unique part of the state, but yeah, man, you know, shout out to all those that have made it to the West Virginia State Championship. Definitely looking forward to watching that and seeing the numbers that people produce. You know, one of the names that we keep mentioning throughout the season in reference to high school was Gavin Lochow, Huntington's quarterback, who had 5 total touchdowns in the semifinals to get Huntington here. So, you know, shout out to Gavin and the rest of his team. And shout out to Martinsburg as well, man. Looking for a good matchup coming up this Saturday. But that's your quick rundown for your West Virginia high school sports. Make sure y'all tune in, man. Find your streaming services or find the links to locate some of these games.
Yes, sir. Congrats to those boys. Let's hop right into it. College football. We had some good games this week. I'm gonna just start off with the banger, Michigan and O State.
Not really much of a banger though. They smacked O State.
Yeah, they did smack. I'm just talking about the highlight. You know, when I say the banger, like the big game that we talking about.
Right.
What you say?
They definitely like thoroughly won the game, but they didn't.
Yeah.
But towards the end, they was getting up on them boards. Right? You know
I mean, it happens, but they didn't smack O State. So did Texas A&M smack y'all?
That's not remotely the same thing.
How not?
They can pull away from OSU. They didn't pull away from us.
They barely pulled away. Like, they didn't pull away. Like it wasn't that big of a deficit. You act like they won by like 3 scores or something. They won by like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Regardless, they scored a touchdown at the end.
Regardless of the fact, the defense held in check like I said they would. They was able to run the ball like I said they would. Andrea, I appreciate you liking my my tweet on Twitter because I know you seen me at bro. You know what I'm saying? For the folks that don't know, I said on Twitter, for the record, let the record show that I picked Michigan to beat O State weeks ago. You know what I mean?
You did, brother. And with that win, that put Michigan in the college football playoff top 4. What did you say?
It was just a lucky guess. Nothing told him to pick Michigan. He just picked Michigan to pick them.
He hated on my pick, but I picked him to come out the Big Ten. Y'all see what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shaq and the rest of the Michigan fan base. You know what I'm saying? Big Blue did that on Saturday, man. But
Word.
But no, it was a great game though. I'm not gonna lie. I tweeted that to the atmosphere and it was crazy. Like you could feel the energy through the screen, Dree baby. Like it was turned in there.
It was
like,
crazy.
And I didn't know that the stadium held over 100,000 people.
The big house.
They getting money, big money. That's crazy for college football.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was a good game for sure. Michigan just established a run. I mean, Ohio State wasn't invincible. They offense looked very good, going into the game, but I wouldn't say they were running through the best of opponents either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could have, like, me personally, I bet with Michigan as far as like getting points and stuff. Did I think they was going to win the game? No. You couldn't have told me they was going to win the game. They would have had to win the game for me to believe they were going to win the game because, like, haven't won this game in, I think it's since like 2014 or something like that.
2011, actually.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's even crazy.
Yeah.
Like, nah, hold on, that's 10 years. It was only like it was 8-game win streak.
Nah, hold on. Let me double check for you.
It ain't been a decade. I know it ain't been a decade.
Bro, I promise you it has. Hold on. I promise you it has. Please tell me I like that. Man.
Nah, when did Urban Meyer get there?
This is his 6th season, so he was 0-5 against them prior to this.
Urban Meyer was 2014, probably. Nah, Urban Meyer was 2000. Dang, it might have been. Urban Meyer won the Natty in 2014. I think.
I didn't like it, but I know it's in here, man.
It couldn't have been a decade. A decade is a long time.
It is.
Getting smacked for years. Yeah, like who would have picked Michigan, bro? Like that was a lucky pick, Dre.
I'm sure there's some sports fans out there, bettors that are out there pretty happy if they did pick Michigan.
I told my brother he was crazy for taking Michigan to win the game. I'm like, bro, like you can take them with some points, but they not gonna win the game. You tripping?
Yeah,
win the game.
Look at that, bub. Last time Michigan won was 2011. Look.
Dang, it has been. That would have been. This is the decade right here. This is crazy.
I'm salty I didn't like it, but
that's
I did
way
keep
to close
that
it out.
Let
it not be a decade. You know what I'm saying? That's the way.
Facts.
For sure.
Right. With that win, though, that put Michigan in the college football playoff top 4 at number 2. At number 2, we got Georgia at number 1, Michigan, Alabama at number 3, Cincy, Oklahoma State, and Notre Dame. Right now. Yep. That's how it lines up right now.
Yeah,
so
up too.
Yep, they just dropped. So that's breaking news right there. But what do you guys think about that college football playoff? How you think it ends and lines out? You think it stands for the rest of the season, or does do the conference championship games matter, or what? Talk to us about that.
The conference championships definitely matter. I'm picking Bama this Saturday, Roll Tide, but I do think when we win, Georgia is going to remain in the top 4. It's just a matter of where they drop. So I feel like if Michigan wins out and wins, the Big Ten conference title game, they'll stay at number 2. I feel like we'll move up to number 1 because Georgia's been running it up all year, deservingly so. So I feel like we should be number 1. Michigan to be number 2. They'll probably put Georgia at 3 and keep Cincinnati at 4 if if all else goes to plan. So I feel like the 4 will remain the same. It'll just maybe shuffle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got it right now. I'll be on record. I want Alabama to beat Georgia, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, from what I've seen. So that would leave
Hey, y'all, we're going to address that here in a second.
A window. Oklahoma State win. They could possibly slide in. Notre Dame, that's gonna be crazy. We're gonna talk about that too. But they coach took another job, and they right outside the playoff. So
Right.
that's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about the group chat because I didn't know that
The
some of that stuff
thing,
about
the thing I was arguing about, you know what I'm saying, with some people was if Bama loses, how they gonna try and freak it for Bama to get back in there. But I don't think they should be able to get back in there, especially because how they've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
I know the SEC is a tough conference, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
it's just different because it's just not this isn't the Bama teams that you used to.
We're used to, yeah.
And dominate, teams that are inferior, when it comes to talent. So I think they've been slipping a little bit. They had a banger with Arkansas. I mean, if you just take a look at their season, they had a close game with Florida on the road. Ended up losing to Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
They
on the road.
banged with Arkansas. And then they almost lost to Auburn, who was starting a transfer quarterback from LSU, and TJ Finley. I don't know. I just don't think it should be a window for them to get back in, with 2 losses. But hey, I mean, if that gives us the most competitive 4, that's why I want Bama to beat Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
so they can all stay in there because Georgia's not going anywhere. They can lose. They're still going to stay in there. So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would like for Alabama to win this SEC championship game. I really would. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
So, they might.
Well, I appreciate the backhanded support.
I mean, that defense is crazy.
The defense is crazy, but we got the true sophomore phenom, dual threat quarterback Bryce Young, who brought us back the other night in a minute and 30 seconds with no timeouts, tied the game in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? In that final drive, I could show y'all a screenshot. It was 4th and 7. He's smiling. When the overtime started, he went to the end zone to pray. I'm trying to tell y'all his faith and confidence level is crazy. It's crazy. So, shout out to him. He definitely, I feel like, had his Heisman moment. Just showing perseverance, you know what I mean? Being able to overcome that situation. We weren't able to protect him that well this past Saturday. And for him to, fight through that and, play the way he played and lead us to victory. I think as long as we win Saturday, I feel like the Heisman is his man, hands down, so.
Yeah, Stroud took a hit. Kenneth Walker took a hit. Yeah, it's looking like a Bryce Young Heisman. It's crazy, though, because there ain't been too much hype around the Heisman this year.
Nah.
It hasn't at all.
There's a few defensive players, Malik, too, that definitely should be mentioned. And that, shout out to Michigan State's DN. That boy tough. You dig? Kayvon from Oregon, he tough. Man, it's some tough defenders, man. This draft is going to be interesting.
Right.
Hutchinson from Michigan is good, too.
Say it again.
Hutchinson from Michigan.
Facts.
He's a pretty good one. He had 3 sacks versus Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, Final Four, the 4 is right now, I think since he wins out, they should get their chance to, if not this year, when will, a non-Power 5 be able to get the opportunity. But I think since he can play with, just about anybody, in my opinion.
Right. Before we move on to our coaching hires, are there any other games that you guys would like to highlight from this past weekend? Shout out to Rick and Al. They won a thriller too.
For sure.
They won a thriller.
Shout out to Rick and them.
And y'all don't know this, you know what I mean? This is just background information. My boy had the flu. So he had the game-sealing interception. My boy fought through playing through the flu the whole game. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
we lion-hearted over here. That's my birthday twin. Y'all know we Leos, so proud of him for sure. Just showing that toughness. Like, we solid, man. Proud of you, boy.
Shout out to the family. Love you, Reek.
We what else I want to talk about? There is another game I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, Ed O won his last game at LSU. That's
Mm.
you know.
I have no comment about that.
What else? Oklahoma lost to Oklahoma State.
We talked about that. I do got to give bro, because bro been calling Oklahoma on their bluff. We did talk about that game though last episode. That was definitely one of the ones we looked forward to for sure.
And yeah, I mean we ain't touch on it, but the Iron Bowl was it looked a little sus out there. Oh yeah, the Gators. We won the Florida State game. No, with the interim coach, but we ain't have like no offensive coordinator, no O-line coach, no nothing. Still beat the boys. That's about it though. Just those games. Oklahoma State was probably the biggest one though, because that game meant a little something. And maybe showed a little something as far as Oklahoma State being able to play a little bit off. I mean, defense. I think they got like a top 5 defense in the nation, which is crazy.
What was that? Oklahoma State. Okay.
Yeah, playing in the Big 12, that pass heavy conference. That's all I wanted to talk about. But besides that,
Yeah. Right on, brother.
And they do one of the top defenses in the nation. To piggyback on what you said, in total defense, they are ranked 5th in the nation.
That's your top 5. Yeah, that's crazy.
Quick fun fact.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's get into these coaching hires. It's been the Cupid shuffle been going on with coaches. Which ones y'all want to highlight? Which one? You got Virginia Tech. You got Florida. Where are we going?
Yeah, bro can't talk about that Brian Kelly hire. They the ops. I don't even want to talk about anything that got to do with that institution. You dig? But I would like to I would like for us to touch on Lincoln Riley going to USC. I definitely think that's a splash hire. Big time name, big time school, big time football program, just period. So I definitely like that hire for them, man. That's one of the quarterback gurus right there. So I definitely can see him bringing USC back to dominance in the Pac-12. So, that's definitely, I've been hearing a lot of rumblings like it was a cutthroat move, but I mean, it's business at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So. Bro, do you think LSU's a bigger rivalry than Auburn? Why don't you treat Auburn like you do LSU?
I do.
No, you say Auburn's name because usually you'd be like, "No, I ain't saying that name."
I feel like he don't got that energy.
Yeah, he don't.
Auburn really done messed up y'all season.
For sure,
before.
Coach Saban 4-4 against Auburn. I just, you know what I think it is? That other school you mentioned, it's just how they talking. You know what I'm saying? When Dre and I was freshmen at North Carolina A&T, yeah, they beat us in the regular season. You know what I mean? We missed a couple field goals and they beat us, but y'all saw what happened in the national championship.
Y'all shouldn't have got there. But,
you know what I'm saying?
We
got there and we won it and we smacked it.
Save it for later.
You feel me? They didn't beat us again, Dre, from the 2011 regular season win. They didn't beat us again until 2019. So I want y'all to do the math. So over this past decade, 11 years rather, we played 12 times. You know what I'm saying? Because that first year we played twice. Y'all do the math. We 10-2 against them. Like how they be talking though, like how the fans talk, that's what rubs me the wrong way. Like how Dana feels about LeBron, that's how I feel about them. Real talk. I'm not that bad, because you know me, I'm not that bad, but like how he got energy, I got energy for them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even acknowledge them, like real talk.
That is.
I know the vibe. Like I said, y'all know I be on my statistics. 10-2. you know.
Auburn should really. I feel like Auburn should have that smoke too. Auburn talk shit, bro. Like,
I don't know any fans of that school though.
oh, got you.
You feel me? So maybe I don't get that. And when I run into people, you feel me? They be Auburn fans, so it'd be respect when we talk. Cause like I said, Coach Saban was 4-4. When I run into them other boys, they be trying to pop cash. And I just told y'all we 10-2 against them. What are we even talking about? You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is.
Got you.
Just folk, you know, they got false.
This nigga over here getting hot. He over here finna shirt.
Nah, cause you know, bro, like when they beat us in 2019, went over to our recruits, like they just rubbed me the wrong way. Real talk. So roll tide, man. Y'all know the vibes. You know
It's nice. Shout out Joe Burrow, man.
All right, what else we got? Leak, you want to dive into your Florida hire?
Yeah. I mean, not really, but yeah, I want to because it needs to be said. We are definitely sorry. You know, I'm upset. You know that we're going through another coaching hire. This has been multiple in years. It's been multiple in like I think. Damon did 4 years. McElwain before him did like 3. Then Muschamp did 4, I think. Yeah, it's been bad, you know.
What you think it is? You think it's like the administration? You think it's, you know, now that we talked the coach, he like sometimes the administration don't be on, you know, they ain't trying to win. What you think it is?
I think it could be, to be honest with you, I think it could be a combination of like administration. See, like the Florida schools, like you got to think, you know, recruiting is the name of the game, you know, in college football. You know, you got to recruit, you got to get your top players to come in, but like a lot goes into recruiting, and you know how it is, Dre. You know, being a former recruit, but like when it comes to like these Power 5 teams for football, you know, it's like a big presentation, basically. You know, like you know that's why they got the upgraded facilities and you know these state of the art, you know everything, you know, just around the football program. I just don't feel like, you know, we haven't caught up to that, you know, that part, you know, so to speak, you know, so recruiting has been lax.
Like,
but it has
think y'all's facilities up there?
No, yeah, we don't, but they're actually getting put up now, you know, so there'll be change, you know, for the new coach. He'll have his own standalone facility and everything.
That's not fair.
That's how it works, man.
Word, they don't wait till Coach. I actually like Coach Mullen, so they don't wait till he gone.
Coach Mullen, we can talk about
I demand that joint.
But, you know, and just being from Florida, you know, well, not being from Florida, but the school being in Florida, you know, that's one of the best recruiting spots in the nation, you know. Definitely top 5, you know, put it wherever you want to put it, you know. It was top 3 for real, but, you know, mix them up how you want to mix them up. So I think they just got a little lazy, like, you know, Urban Meyer did so good, you know, taking over the program and taking it to new heights, you know, in the future tense when he was there. But now I just don't think, you know, I just think everybody's just too lackadaisical with the job. Like Will Muschamp, I'll give it to him. He was a good recruiter, but he didn't get the X's and O's side. You know what I'm saying? He didn't adjust. You know, he wanted to run a pro style offense when everybody was switching to the spread. Now you got we're not even gonna talk about Jim McElwain. He was supposed to be a Nick Saban protege. You know, he was K's offensive coordinator for some years back when they run the pro style, old school offense. That wasn't That wasn't something he was okay with recruiting, but they kind of ran him out of town because, you know, he was getting there sloppy, I guess you can say, you know, like it was patchwork. You know, Georgia wasn't really up and coming. Like it was Kirby's like first year or so, you know what I'm saying? So they weren't there like yet. So he kind of stuck by. You could tell the program was going downhill. And then Dan Mullen, you know, who just recently got fired, it was basically recruiting with him. Dan Mullen can scheme, man. He's a good recruiter. I mean, not a good recruiter, but he's a good schemer. Like he can scheme together a game plan to keep you in the ball game if he really wants to. Like, you know, he's been known as a quarterback developer too. I have my, you know, my questions about that. I'll save that for, you know, a later time. But yeah, with Dan Mullen, it was just more so recruiting. He is more so he gets the guys that fits his system no matter what, you know, like he doesn't try to get the best players, you know, say, you know, he'll go for something and think he can develop it, you know, just so he doesn't have to try to recruit the top guy or try to, you know, swindle over the top guy. And that's what you got to do recruiting these days, you know what I'm saying? These dudes is like, they're literally getting paid now, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you can't it ain't going to be no just halfway recruiting them. You got to really give them a situation or they're not coming to your program. And
right.
I think Dan Mullen was with that, honestly, man. You know, so
Right.
fired him. And we got Billy Napier. He's the head coach at Louisiana Lafayette. You know, they're 11-1 this season. Their only loss is to Texas. I think first game of the season. They almost beat Texas. He's a former, I think he's a former offensive coordinator at Clemson, and then he worked at Bama for a few years under Nick Saban as an analyst, as an offensive analyst. Known as a tenacious recruiter. They were going for, you know, a recruiter this time. And to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know if I like the hire or not yet. We got to see it, you know, but from what they say, he's well organized, you know, he likes to run a tight ship. He knows what he needs as far as a support staff off the field, you know, and that's as far as recruiting talk goes, you know. So it's looking like where we're headed, man. We're looking like we're headed to like some better recruiting. You know, hopefully he gets some of these hires right, not as far as support staff, but as far as like, you know, actual coaching staff, you know, and we'll see, you know. I can't tell you too much about Billy Napier just beside like, you know, he's done well at Lafayette and he's been up under a couple great, you know, great programs before he got that job. Known as a great recruiter. So we shall see, man. At this point, it doesn't matter to me, man. I just want to see something shake my way, man. It's been too long since my Gators been down for real. So I need some life.
Yeah, it's just crazy how your tone switched a little bit, like toward, you know, the beginning of the year. You super stoked about the Gators. By week like 3, you was like, yeah.
Year you gotta lie, Drew. You gotta tell lies, man.
He was taken from somebody who's close to him personally. I would have thought it was Alabama how he be raving on, man. I wish the homies could vouch on here, man. You know what I'm saying? But I let him rock.
I mean, y'all should have lost us, honestly.
There it is. You know, it's funny he says that, Dre. After we beat him, y'all know I couldn't find him for days. I had to call him. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't find him. He wasn't on Twitter. He wasn't in the group chat. He didn't text me back. He was MIA. So he got yeah, please don't mention me after a game like how you did the other night as quick as you did. Because when we beat y'all, you was nowhere to be found.
What do you mean?
And now all of a sudden you got all these opinions about Alabama. It's crazy to me.
First of all, I wasn't in town when that happened.
What that got to do with your cellular service? You wasn't in Aruba. You know what I'm saying? You was
What do you
still in the
mean?
States. You was
Bruh.
still in the States.
Stop acting like this.
Still in the States. If y'all would have won, you called me. You know it.
He said he was booked and busy.
Yeah, like he acts like I could show y'all our group chat through the screen right now. Ask them what happens when Alabama loses. Ask them what happened with the Texas A&M loss. Like, where was he at? He was gone for days. Like, he acts like that's something new. He acts like he stands in the paint, man. Like,
we all grieve differently. You know what I'm saying? We all grieve differently.
You know,
this is hilarious, guys.
Standing in the paint, man.
So,
Brian Kelly to LSU.
Yeah, Brian Kelly to LSU. Virginia Tech got a new coach too. His name is missing me right now.
He's like the Penn State defensive coordinator. I forget his name. I hope we get it. Yeah, I mean, Virginia Tech is just looking to fill a void. I don't think they really, try to expect the low there.
Yeah, that's crazy to see how the program has shifted.
Really, it used to be a real solid program. For sure.
Yeah. They were a powerhouse.
Yeah, back when Marcus Vick was there.
I think even
Marcus Vick,
especially like when I was getting recruited, was that long ago?
Tyrod, that's nice.
Yeah.
Disrespectful. I'm sorry.
Marcus Vick was a little disrespectful.
It was. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, hold on. I know they was all right.
I said Pry. Yes, Brent Pry. That's the name of the Virginia Tech new head coach.
Yeah, they don't care.
Any notable job openings that you guys want to mention?
No.
Oklahoma and Notre Dame.
No, I think Venables took Oklahoma.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
Who took Oklahoma?
I think Venables. Did he not? I think I seen something that said he took Oklahoma. Might not have.
Why ain't that come to my phone?
But Brian Kelly to LSU, I didn't even get to finish it. I don't know how that's going to work either.
But I thought it said that he was suspected to go. I didn't see anything that said it was final.
Who, Venables?
No, Brian Kelly. I heard that it was expected.
Oh, no.
It's final.
It's final.
His Twitter Avi, the header, everything. Yeah, he in there.
Okay.
Tell him why you don't think that'd be a good fit, though, League City.
Yeah, hold on. I don't think it's a done deal yet. I think they're probably ironing out the details, man. As far as this Venables thing goes, that's my fault. But he's supposed to be at Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's, still open. Notre Dame is now open.
Yeah, I think I saw something that said Urban Meyer.
Well,
his name has been mentioned with Notre Dame.
He's only going to either play that game to get more money, or he really gonna go because he's always said that Notre Dame is his dream job.
Really?
Yeah, that's Urban Meyer's dream job. So
I didn't know that. Wow, I wonder. You got to recruit differently. A lot of people don't know. Not everybody can go to Notre Dame. You got to have great grades. Like they recruit so differently at Notre Dame. It's different.
I don't know what he got going on, but that's it.
Got you. He got an interesting decision. And I read somewhere today where Coach Fickle, like that's their priority, like that's who they want to give it to, because he has like ties to Notre Dame. But they said specifically like they want him to recruit, like rev up the recruiting to the Catholic schools in the Midwest. They want him like to rev that up recruiting wise. So I don't know. We'll see.
Rev it up to what does that mean? Like recruit more Catholic schools?
Yep. Recruit more kids that went to Catholic schools.
That is terrible. That's a bad job to have.
That's why I said they recruit different at that school. Like,
I ain't gonna tell me more Catholic school kids. Like,
I think it is is it a Catholic school? Is Notre Dame a Catholic happen too. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
That's janky. That's why they can't get over the hump. They got Catholic school kids.
100%. Yeah.
Going against these public school kids.
Yeah. Now I used to talk to someone who parents played at Notre Dame. So like, yeah, it's hard to get into. For one, they don't recruit like, like how you and I schools recruit. Like not everybody. They're not gonna recruit everybody that we recruit. Like that's why I said that's a unique job right there. But it's still a great institution. I mean, it's Notre Dame. You know what I mean? It's just a great brand. The movie Rudy was shot there. I mean, when you think of college football, that is one of the schools that you think of. So,
used to. I don't think they old.
Yeah, well, tradition-wise, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting for sure. Before we move out of college football, anything else you guys would like to mention or talk about?
Nope. Let's keep it rolling.
Keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. So we going right into the NFL. We got the AFC and NFC playoff race. Who do you guys like? Let's start with the AFC.
I like the Patriots. I'm not gonna lie. The defense real stout right now. J.C. Jackson has been balling. On is third in the league in sacks. I like the Pats, man. Max.
I had to check myself this weekend, guys, because I saw that the Pats are really doing well, and I'm like, dang, man. I was kind of on some sucker hater type stuff. I'm like, I hope it don't work out just because they did Cam dirty.
People forget about that, man.
But congratulations to those guys.
But yeah, I like them. Not to cut you off, I like them. The Chiefs are resurging. People forget about them because they, were on a bye this past week, but they've been, trending upwards during the past month. So, I like the Pats. I like the Chiefs. The Titans have suffered some funny L's, even though AJ didn't play this past Sunday. They got to get healthy, man. They got to get him and Julio out there, at least AJ, at least. This, like I said, I mean, they got a favorable schedule. We talked about it on here before, but they've lost to the Texans, and then they just lost to the Patriots. So, they're 8-4 now, just like the Patriots. So, we're gonna see. But yeah, that's what I like to see, though. I feel like I'm.
got lead.
Watch out for the Bengals too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I like the Patriots. They're definitely taking care of business. I don't think that is what they're trying to make it seem. They've had a good little stretch of games. Where they've played some bad teams, caught some banged up teams as well. But I like the Patriots. They'll definitely be in the playoff picture. I don't know if they'll end up with the first seed or not, but they'll be close to it. Patriots, like you said, the Chiefs is resurging. I like the Bengals. The Bengals look good. And the Colts, man, the Colts might end up. I remember I said something about them, coming back and winning that division. It's not. Yeah. It's not crazy far-fetched. The Titans keep dropping games, like losing to the Texans and stuff like that. So, as AFC, that's who I like.
We can't. Lamar definitely been hoping.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping.
That's who's number one in the AFC. So we don't want to come off like we try and disrespect.
Definitely Lamar. Lamar is number one.
Yeah, they are number one. Yeah, and the Patriots are two.
That's who's number one. Lamar is number one. I'm tripping.
Yeah. I knew he was forgetting somebody. That's why I pulled it up real quick. But yeah, all the teams we mentioned,
I'm tripping, disrespecting them.
Yeah, all the teams we mentioned are the Ravens are 1, the Patriots are 2, Tennessee's 3, Kansas City, who was out of the playoff picture a month ago, is actually 4th now in the AFC. So that's what I'm saying. And Cincinnati's 5, just rounded out the top 5, followed by Buffalo and the Chargers, 6 and 7. So yeah, man, that's why I said football is. It's tough when you lose because you got to wait a week. But if you could stack the wins, man, you'd be surprised what a 4-game win streak could do to your record, to your placement in the standings, all that. So, yeah, man.
All right, moving on to the NFC. As it stands, we got Arizona, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Dallas, and the Rams at our top 5.
Yeah,
San Fran right up under there.
leave it how it is. Arizona, Green Bay, Tampa. I mean, we're still up there, even though I don't mind our loss yesterday, just because I feel like, we might end up probably having to play the Packers again. I hate those seeing same time, normally when you win that first one, that second is a little harder to win.
Facts.
So I don't really mind that. I do hate slipping this many games in a row, for real. Other than that, that's how I see it. I see we'll probably get 3 teams in like we thought as far as this division. Well, it could be, I mean, it's looking that way. The Niners are creeping back into, contention for it.
Yeah, we're the 6th seed right now.
So, I mean, it just depends, man. But that's what I like. It can stay in that same top little 4 order. I ain't really tripping off of it.
Yeah, the top 3 is definitely the favorites, as they should be. But, yeah, man. I do want to ask you, though, since we're on air and just talking about it, can you see, because, I know you watch your team just like I do, can you see that y'all are missing Robert Woods? Like, is it that obvious? You know what I'm saying? Because not to cut you off, they say, like, how McVay schemes, like, the pass game, he uses the slot a lot, right? So I've read that, Van Jefferson has been inconsistent, even though we've spoke about him off air being talented. And I do think he's talented, but he is young. So I guess what the word is that y'all picked up Odell so he can be dominant on outside, outside the numbers. That way, Woods and Cooper Kupp can kill in the slot. But now that Woods is gone, what I'm saying, they're like, well, how is that going to work? Yeah, I know he got 10 targets the other night in reference to Odell. But that's why I asked, like, because he was such a pivotal piece in y'all's offense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Robert Woods is super solid, man. So he does a lot, between, what they say, between the hashes, he blocks real well for us. He helps us with the little extended running game as well. Yeah, Bobby does a lot. That's what they call him, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I just don't think we're playing as well as we should on defense, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
I think that's probably our
biggest issue.
We're not helping. I mean, the offense has been a little shaky. Stafford has, been turning it over here these last few games, but we got some defense to help with that. We don't get off to these slow starts. I feel like we'd be in better shape. So, yeah, that's just it for me, man. I got no quarrels with the NFC right now. We're definitely playing like the 4th, 5th.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of the NFC, I want to highlight the Niners getting the win over the Vikings. Kay, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it felt like a playoff game. It was definitely a back and forth game. The Vikings scored first. We was going back and forth for a little bit. Then we was able to pull away towards the end, even though we still gave them a chance, not scoring in the red zone. We kicked a couple field goals. So we was up 8 at the end, but the defense held us down. But yeah, man, shout out to Elijah Mitchell. He had like 27 carries for 133 yards. Debo scored again. You know, Debo, man, he's such a dynamic player. You know, he's hurt for this week. Fortunately, he hurt his groin. So is Fred Warner. So we're definitely gonna miss them against, you know, a big rival against the Seattle Seahawks. You know, they're coming off a losing streak. So I know they want to right their wrongs, and you know they're gonna be at home too. So, but yeah, man, we played a great game, man. We're definitely looking like we're getting back healthy on both sides of the ball. Even though we just you know, two key players are going to be out for one game, but it's just one game, at least for Fred, at least. But yeah, Jimmy, you know, he airmailed one in the first quarter, but he was able to calm it down, you know, and manage the game well. So yeah, man, offensive. Brandon Ayuk had over 90 receiving yards. You know, Kittle didn't do much, but he played great in the run block game. You know, Leak was laughing at me at the beginning of the season because, you know, I just value how he blocks. But I mean, I played tight end in high school, you know what I'm saying? So I just know, like, to play that position, you have to be able to block, you know what I mean? Depending on what offense you're in. So I just value how he can block, you know, and, you know, just how he approaches it, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was a great game by both teams. You know, shout out to the Vikings. You know, that was a great game they played, but we was able to come out on top, man. Nick Bosa had a sack, couple tackles for loss. So yeah, man, like I said, it looks looking like we're getting healthier on both sides of the ball. So now we just got to finish strong. We're on a 3-game win streak. We're the 6th seed out of, you know, 7 possible seeds in the NFC. So we got to keep elevating, man. You know, keep stacking the wins. Hopefully teams above us keep losing, and we could climb up a little bit. But I definitely like what I'm seeing from my boys. So.
You got anything you want to add, Leaky?
No.
All right, well, we're going to move on to the next game. I want to highlight the Panthers lost to the Dolphins. Cam Newton throws 2 interceptions, and I believe Christian McCaffrey gets hurt.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey hurt his ankle. He's out for the rest of the season. Reason why I wanted to highlight this game is because, you know, Tua has been playing great, and that's one of the things that we do on this platform. Like, we're not just going to keep recycling the same topics and, you know, trying to keep the same narrative. Like, no, we're going to change the narrative. Tua, you know, these past 2 games, just to give people background, he's completed over 80% of his passes. He's only the 4th quarterback since 1950 to do that. The other 3, Kyler Murray also did it this year, had back-to-back games of throwing over 80%. Drew Brees was the other one, and Peyton Manning, my personal favorite quarterback, was the other one. So, you know, he's been playing great. This month, he's 4th in passer rating, and he has the 2nd highest completion percentage in the 4th quarter this season behind Kyler Murray. And, you know, just to give full season stats, you know, in reference to his rating, he has a passer rating of 94.7 on 7.4 yards per attempt. So, you know, with a 70% completion percentage. So, you know, just want to throw that in there, man. I seen late you and Reed talking about my boy, you know, at the beginning of the season.
I still got something to say.
But
like it's fine and dandy, you know, you want to switch the narrative and shout out to it. He's an Alabama guy, but they have played the Jets and the Panthers the last 2 games, brother. If you want to crown him for doing good versus those 2 guys, go right ahead. I mean, I wouldn't do so. I would crown the defense for stepping up these last couple games and getting turnovers. I know they're somewhere in the top for turnovers the last few weeks. I know that for sure.
Yeah, they are.
You know, so yeah, I would like to shout out the defense. They're playing a little bit better, but I mean, I'm not about to crown Tua just yet, bro. Like, he got more. He still got more to prove. The Jets and the Panthers did not get you off the hook, especially when Cam is out there 5 for 20, bro. Like,
yeah, that was tough.
Like, come on,
tough, Cam.
I respect Tua. He is a little bit better than I thought he would be. I mean, he's probably just.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
He don't
probably
get
the
any
Drew
credit for.
Brees type. Just dink and dunk. Take his shots here and there. Probably take care of the ball. So I don't think he'll be bad. But I mean, we just can't. We can't go. We can't go either way with Tua right now. We just got to stay chill. We got to let him finish the season and see what the Dolphins do. See if they really truly make a run.
Facts.
I know they're gonna have to play the Patriots again.
Respect, yeah. But reason why I brought it up because national media hasn't really spoke upon it. You dig? So I wanted to touch on it so the people can, be aware of how he's been improving this season, so they won't keep thinking like, oh, it's Tua. Like, nah, he's actually improving. Like I said, he's second in the league in completion percentage in the fourth quarter. Like he's
slowly improving,
Yeah.
but it's that small sample sizes. We gotta let him finish it out. That's all. Just let us finish it out, and then we'll evaluate at the end. He is slowly progressing, though. I give you that. Sure.
Respect.
So, with that being said, we're just gonna switch gears, and we're gonna go into the NBA trends. I just want to highlight, two of the hottest teams in the league. They play tonight, and the Warriors and the Suns. Warriors are sitting at 18-2, and this Phoenix Sun is sitting at 17-3. So that should be a really good showdown tonight. They play at 10. Yeah, Steph and the Warriors, man.
Steph going crazy, man. I guess that should be a good game. I mean, that might be one of the regular season games that they actually hoop in.
Yeah.
I'm iffy on NBA regular season.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the nights they taking off, Judy.
Yeah, they definitely do. They be chilling. They be chilling sometimes.
Yeah, that should be a good game. As far as like the league goes, it's a quick little, synopsis on that is Steph Curry's going crazy. The Warriors are very good. It's a solid team. We'll see how they perform in the playoffs with those young bulls around. Around them are definitely stepping up and showing they can play. As far as that, KD and them looking good on the East. Giannis and them starting to get their footing back. Lakers still struggling because Westbrook is tripping. We just cut down on the turnovers just a little bit. They'd probably have a couple more wins, like just solely off of that.
Yeah.
That's about it, man. It's a little too early to really
dig deep into it.
You know what I'm saying? But Steph looking like, MVP.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's so crazy. They still got like 50 to 60 games left.
Crazy.
So it's like this is when I really start paying attention to the numbers, though. When you get 20 games in, because like the averages at this, because at the beginning of the season, somebody could be averaging 30. Like, for example, Ja Morant was leading the league in scoring, like in the first 5 games, averaging over a 30 piece. But now, kind of, I won't say necessarily back to normal, but they're going to be like how they're going to be for the rest of the season. So that's why, I wanted us to touch on the NBA briefly. The Suns and the Warriors, that'll definitely be a great game. The Suns are on a 16-game winning streak right now. So, and like bro said, Steph is tearing it up. He just set another record for threes, making 100 threes in 19 games. That's never been done before, of course. So that's just kind of show you what type of money he's on right now. Like he's been going crazy. And the Nets, I saw, a presser where James Harden was basically, and I was wondering about that too. So I'm glad somebody asked him that. But James Harden was like, he's still trying to figure it out, when to be a playmaker, when to be a scorer, when to be a facilitator, when to just sit back and, just let the offense flow. So I'll definitely be tuning in to see, how he progresses in reference to his role and, when he chooses to be aggressive and when he, chooses to scale it back. And, the Bucks, they've they've been facing some injuries in recent weeks, but they're starting to get back healthy, so they're definitely looking good. I know the Bucks was one of the teams Malik had as his favorite, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I do want to admit on air, Giannis is definitely turning me into a believer. I'm one of those people, and I'm not being biased. I've always been saying that AD is better than him because he's more skilled. But Dree and Leak, being as talented as y'all were athletically, not only do you have to, have the talent, but you have to have the mentality. You know what I'm saying? That
motor.
Yeah, you feel me? And not insinuating that AD doesn't, but Giannis goes hard. Like he goes hard. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully with how we've started this season in reference to my Lakers, that'll, kind of, let's be frank, that'll make AD upset, like especially with bro going off be the way he did when we played them. Like I want him to be upset if he doesn't have 28 and 12. Like, upset. You know what I mean? Like I seen where he said, I'm gonna keep shooting threes whether I make them or not. And I'm just like, he's so skilled he can do that, but it's like, bro, you could be so much more efficient if you just really just stay in that paint and kill that mid. He got the mid range, so
it seemed like he feeling himself, and I wanted to kind of highlight like the Lakers. They don't have anybody in this, that top 5 or 6 leader statistical category, except for I think assist. Russ is up there, and then AD may be there with blocks, but that's about it. Like as far as scoring, rebounds, they have nobody in the top 5 in the statistical category with all that talent on the roster. Now we know LeBron is hurt and he hasn't been able to play that much, but I think it's interesting, and I feel like as a star athlete, especially one of AD's caliber, that should probably light a fire under you. If you're supposed to be one of the best in the world, why aren't you playing like it?
Yeah. And again, we're not trying to come off disrespectful, but we're going to keep it real on our platform. You know what I mean? Like I just mentioned, if he doesn't have at least 28 and 12, he should be upset. Like, I just want him to be mad. Like, you know what I mean? That's, me growing up as a Laker fan and, the big men that we had, even though some would have, some had their comments about Powell, but Powell still averaged 18 and 10 when we was in our prime years going to the chip 3 years in a row, period. So how is Powell out rebounding you? You know what I mean? I know you're more physical than Powell. So it's, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like that's something you gotta get in there and bang. I know how it is, but
I also wanted to mention too, the Bucks just picked up DeMarcus Cousins. Do you think he helps or not?
No, I mean, no.
I'm gonna say no too, but he's not a liability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not a liability, but he's just, I hate to say this, Boogie, he's just not what he used to be. So I say that to say he'll show flashes. You might get a glimpse of the Boogie that we all grew to love, you know what I mean? Maybe 1 or 2 games, but then it'll be, you know what I mean? It's just not consistent. It's tough for Boogie, man. Yeah, I hate that injuries messed him up because that was one of the best big men in the league back when he was, doing his thing because he could shoot.
A dribble.
Dribble had the post. He's very skilled to be that size. And goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's the NBA. Your points per game right now, statistical leaders is Steph at 1 and KD at 1. They are tied at 28.6 a game. You got Giannis right under them at 27. Jokic at 26.4, and then Trae Young at 26 points per game. Trae Young is balling too.
He showed that in the playoffs, though.
Yeah. Just to highlight your assist leaders, you got Chris Paul at number 1, James Harden at number 2 with 9.4 assists a game. Trae Young again at 9, Russell at 8.7, and then Luka at 8.1. So Trae is he really balling. He like in the top 5.
Scoring.
Scoring and assists. So
definitely wavy.
Yeah, definitely tough. And then we got rebounds. We got Rudy Gobert at 14.5, Jokic at 13.6, Clint Capella at 12.7, Jonas Valanciunas at 12.3, and Giannis at 11.8. So Giannis averaging a double-double right now. And then you got steals. You got Alex Caruso at 2.3, Jimmy Butler at 2.1, Deontay Murray at 2.1, Marcus Smart, and then Gary Trent Jr. all at 2.1 steals a game.
Gary Trent.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. Just a key point, you and I talked about the Bulls today. They have both of their point guards, Lonzo and Alex Caruso. They're in the top 5 for most steals through week 6. So Alex Caruso has 46 steals, so he's number 1, and then Lonzo Ball is number 5 at 39 steals through week 6. So I know we had talked about their defense earlier today, so they definitely a team to look out for.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Bulls fans out there, man.
Right.
Definitely like how they constructed that roster. I wish we could have got DeMar. I'm not going to front, but, like I told you on the phone earlier, can't be a wishful thinker. So, that is a big pickup for them. And, shout out to them for having the foresight to even see that Zach LaVine could be a franchise player. I was looking at his numbers last night, just curious, because I was just curious, like what made them, how they know, he'd be that guy. And the year before they brought him
He
over.
been balling though. He was balling.
The year before he brought him over, he averaged 18, but then I had to think about it. That was playing with Cat and Wiggins. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, okay, if you're doing that as the third scoring option, what could you do as the man? You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's always been athletic too. So,
Super.
Yeah, I definitely like his growth in his game, because that's not what we think about now when we think about LaVine. Like, we think about him as like a legit scorer. So definitely appreciate the growth in his game. And Lonzo, same thing, man. He's an improved shooter. He's an efficient. Who would ever thought Lonzo be, not necessarily me. I'm not saying that was my sentiments, but most people was talking about how he shot, his form, and now look, he's one of the. Who would ever thought that he'd be an efficient 3-point shooter? You know what I mean? We know facilitator and defender. So I just think that adds great value to that Bulls team with the big men that they have in place, and our boy from Carolina, Kobe White, coming off that could score and create his own shot. I like what they do over there, man.
Yeah. The Bulls are nice. And then lastly, I'll lead off the block leaders, blocks per game. You got Miles Turner at 2.8, Anthony Davis at 2.3, Rudy Gobert 2.2, Daniel Gafford at 2.1, and Mo Bamba at 2 blocks per game.
Bamba.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really it. Our NBA trends for today. Anybody got anything you need to add?
Nah, not for the NBA trends, man. Like I said, like we all said, it's still early, but they are over 20 games in. So they are 1/4 into the season. So, definitely just wanted to update our listeners on what's going on. And, college hoops has started too. You know what I mean? We'll have to, deep dive into that, because it's just the beginning. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of, teams that are ranked high, like Purdue. It's a lot of teams out there that's, college hoops is just, it's definitely changing these past couple of years. It's not just your normal, Villanovas and UNCs, and even though they won it back-to-back a couple of years ago, no pun intended, but it's not just the power, notable name programs in college hoops. So definitely just want to inform our listeners that college hoops has started. It's on. FISA started this week. They're about to do the ACC Big Ten Challenge League this week. So, because we play Michigan tomorrow night between you and I.
I got tickets to that game too. Hey.
What game?
To the Michigan UNC game.
Yeah. You ain't tell us?
My boss gave it to me. I got one. I got 2 tickets.
Are you going?
That's the plan. That's the plan. I need somebody to go with though. So either one of you two want to drive down. We can figure it out. We can find another seat.
More availability, I mean.
Right.
But yeah, I got tickets to that game. It's gonna be a banger.
I could have went to a game. Was it last year or the year before last? But I decided I turned it down.
With Mark or
Big Mark, man. Shout out Mark, man.
Facts. You should have went, man. You probably had something going on though.
Yeah, I wasn't trying,
He had good seats though.
I wasn't trying to do nothing, man. I don't know what I was. I just wasn't trying to move. I was gonna go, but then I decided not to.
Yeah, it should be a good game.
Yeah, that's a good game. That's a good look.
Yeah.
Facts.
My bad, bros. I love y'all though.
Yeah, it's all love, man. It's all love. Even though we've talked on the phone multiple times a day.
It slipped my mind. It just dawned on me when you said it. Like I'm like, oh shoot, that's tomorrow. Yeah, I do got tickets to that.
That's fine.
But yeah, man, definitely look out for college hoops. Look out for the NBA. Now that college hoops has tipped off every night until the summer, there's going to be some sporting event going on. Basketball specifically. It's getting down to the end for college football after this particular weekend. Championship weekend. As far as conference championships, it's just bowl games after this, man. You know what I mean? So. Definitely take advantage and whatever you've been doing, just end your college Saturday this particular weekend with a banger. And then, football's still going. We getting down, it's what we heading into, week 12, week 13?
Football is.
Week 13. Yep, week 13. So 17 weeks, y'all. So it's getting down to the nitty gritty. And I want to add, you know what I mean? I'm number 1 and number 2 in both my fantasy leagues. I just want to throw that out there. Like I'm trying to tell y'all, like I really know what I'm doing. You dig? So yeah, man. That's all we have. Y'all got anything y'all want to add?
Fantasy is just projections, brother. You know what I'm saying?
It's chess, though.
I tell y'all this all the time, bro.
I'm not gonna tell y'all his
record. Can't big yourself up for having good fantasy teams.
But like, I got good fantasy teams every year, though, bro.
I normally have good fantasy teams every year. This year, I happen to not have a good fantasy team, but it's not my fault, though.
You do have a good fantasy team. You just not shuffling them.
I have a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, these is late pickups, though. I lost a lot of people. Like early, the Ravens had 2 running backs specifically go down. That was supposed to start this year. And J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Allen Robinson's been non-existent because the Bears suck. He normally can get you something. He literally has 1 touchdown on the season, I think.
Yeah. And I seen you traded Diggs.
I just gave Diggs away. I said everybody can come get a player if they want it, to make it more competitive for y'all.
This is not good to be talking about on air. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
I'm trying to help everybody out, Everybody has the same opportunity.
For the record, I wanted him to fix his lineup when we played, so I could earn my dub. You dig? I don't want any handouts.
I was gonna lose, man. You can't do anything when people are getting injured, Dre.
Yeah.
The only good thing that I had going for my team this year is I'm one of the few people who believe in Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
We happened to get Derek Carr this year.
And he helped you out.
He helped me out, but it doesn't matter, He can only do so much.
Right. Right.
Right. The running backs in fantasy is like a recipe for disaster. Like that's like the most important position. Little do a lot of people know.
Yeah, even my teams. Never mind. I'm not even going to say
if you got two number 1 running backs, you're really good to go.
Yeah, for sure though. Yeah, you are.
So you can not
to give out too much fantasy strategy. Yeah, let's stop giving people free game.
The rest of it. Yeah. Fantasy, don't put too much into your fantasy teams, people. You ain't good in a good GM or bad GM,
Nah, y'all. Some of y'all ain't good GMs.
You just had a year, Just had a year. Some people do draft weird, but I mean,
draft super weird. I should show you my other league, boy. They be crying, boy. trying to tell you, like, y'all boy gotta go back to the drawing board. You gotta draft better. You can't redraft trying to make trades the whole season, boy. Like that's not dag, man. Loso know the vibes, man. All those janky trades in my other league, man. You'd be disgusted if I showed you some of these packages, B. But on a more positive note, you know, last week we had a great interview with Carl Lee. Be looking out. We got several great interviews lined up that's coming up for y'all. So definitely wanted to highlight that. But yeah, man, you know, if anybody doesn't have anything to add, let's just close them out. You know, as always, we appreciate y'all's support. Please continue to like, subscribe, comment, and share our content. And, you know, it's your boy K. I'm with my sister Dree and my brother Lee. You know, the CSN the Network podcast, and we out, man. Y'all stay blessed.
Yo.